We're already 1 month into 2024, and man has there been a lot of New Balances, as well as leaks and scheduled releases for the rest of the year. Welcome to this month's episode of Best New Balances of the Month. As usual, I'll begin the video with all of the New Balances that were officially released in some sort of capacity, and I'll end off the video with any New Balances that were leaked or revealed in the month of January. Starting off the GR releases of January 2024, we have the 1906R in the metallic silver pack. This pack consisted of two simple and very clean colorways. You got a crimson and a blue colorway. Both are very versatile and can go with a wide variety of outfits. They're pretty solid GRs to start off your 1906R collection, and if you haven't noticed already, New Balance has really been pushing the 1906R model, as well as bringing in new variants of the 1906 family because of the popular trend of the 2000s running shoes that began in 2023 and is still going strong at the beginning of 2024, so it looks like New Balance is trying to capitalize on the hype. And next up is the 550 in this vintage aged edition. There's only one colorway that's been officially released so far. That is the classic red, black, and white colorway. As you can tell from the picture, it's just the 550, but it was made to look like an OG pair that has aged over the years with the cracked leather and the discolored midsole. I'm personally indifferent to this aged 550. Usually I really dislike pre-distressed and what I like to say pre-dirtied shoes, which I never really understood the trend. A lot of designer brands made them, and even New Balance dove into them. These pre-aged shoes are a little different. I don't really care for them rather than really disliking them like the pre-distressed shoes. In terms of the 550, there are two other colorways. There are a brown and a gray colorway, but they have yet to have a full official release on newbalance.com. And next up is a new variant of the 1906 family, the 1906 Utility. For some reason, the style code is 1906N, but regardless, this first colorway has been pretty interesting. It's a mostly like light gray and white base with some pops of pastel colors. I think it looks pretty cool. I didn't really rush out to buy it either, but what's interesting about it is the fact that it's a new variant with the 1906 family. Given that it's called the Utility version, the upper materials are more rugged and have different types of panels and materials. And next up is the 2024 Lunar New Year pack. This pack consisted of 5 different shoes. You have 2 1906 Utilities, 2 610s, as well as a Warped Runner. I really don't care for the Warped Runner, and this colorway in particular is nothing special, and I don't really know what it has to do with Lunar New Year. But the other 4 shoes were pretty solid. The 1906 Utilities look pretty fire, especially that pink pair. You guys know I always think New Balance kills it with pink. And the 610 colorways are pretty solid too. They're nothing too special or out of the ordinary, and all 5 shoes consists of basically just one solid color throughout the entire shoe, but I gotta say all of the shades of colors chosen were pretty good and they look good on their respective models. And next up is the Main UK 991 V1 Finale pack. This Finale pack consists of 2 different colorways. One is this brown colorway called the Delicioso colorway on newbalance.com. It's a pretty funny name. And the other colorway is this khaki colorway. Both are really solid neutral tone pairs. I'm not too sure why they're called the Finale pack. The descriptions of the colorways don't really say anything about the name Finale, but what I personally think is that I think these might be the last 2 991 V1s before they get put in the vault, since the 991 V2 was released late last year, and New Balance is probably just going to focus production on the 991 V2. Of course, that's just my personal speculation, and it's not confirmed, but only time can tell. Speaking of the 991 V2, we have 2 new GR colorways for the 991 V2. First up is the Core Black colorway. Nothing much to say about this colorway other than the fact that it is the 3rd core colorway for the 991 V2. For the most part, the upper is just black suede with the signature accents of gray around it. And the next colorway is called the Cocoa Mocha colorway. It's kind of like a light brown / tan colorway. It's a very nice light brown and tan colorway for the 991 V2. The upper is mostly suede, so nothing's really too different about this colorway. What is nice is that they swapped out the gel pods to match the upper colorway. The gel pods are in a kind of darker brown, and I definitely think that was a good choice because the light teal gel pods on the core colorways kind of stuck out. And while I personally was indifferent to that. Some people did not like how it contrasted against like the core black or navy colorways. This colorway officially dropped on Solstop and some other overseas shops, so it did officially release in January, but stay tuned for the wider US release. Moving on to the collabs that officially released in January. First up is the Salehi Bembry Heat Be Hot collaboration on the 1906R. It consisted of two different colorways. Both are very loud. Despite them being loud, I personally didn't really care too much for this collab, but even if I did want these shoes, it looks like I had a very slim chance because Salehi Bembry's site was unfortunately overridden with bots, and unfortunately, to add insult to injury, it looks like that was the only release. There is not going to be a wider release on NewBalance.com, which was unfortunately confirmed by Salehi Bembry. So these two colorways, if you really wanted them, you really needed to bite the bullet on the resale market. I do kind of like the lava colorway. I really love the flame color gradient and how it contrasts against the metallic silver. The other colorway, the red, orange, and blue colorway, is just way too striking in my opinion, even as a big fan of loud colorways. And next up was a friends and family only collaboration with Parisian collective 99 Ginger on the 1906R. This is a very interesting collaboration. It replaces most of the mesh and the rubberized synthetic materials on the 1906R, and it replaces with what appears to be like almost like patent leather that's made to look like crocodile skin. As I said earlier, this was only friends and family only. While even if this was more accessible, it's not really a collaboration I would really run out to get. I do think it is a very interesting take. The almost all croc skin upper is really interesting, and I really respect the creative decision to change up the materials as well as remove one of the distinctive features of the 1906R. Starting off the reveals and leaks from January 2024 is a new GR colorway for the 990 V6. A lot of people are calling this the workwear colorway because it consists of a mostly workwear brown upper. A lot of people are also calling this the GR version of the Carhartt collaboration, and I can definitely see it. I think this is a rock solid GR. I want to say it's a core colorway because the boxes and the tag show that it's not a Teddy Santis pair, and the rest of the paneling are exactly like the core gray, navy, and black colorway. Of course, you just replace the suede color with the workwear brown. When this officially releases, it's definitely going to be very popular. I think the workwear brown works really well on the 990 V6, and especially if you took an L on the Carhartt collaboration from last year. And next up is a GR colorway for the 1906R in this really nice metallic teal colorway. I gotta say, this colorway looks really fire. The cream white mesh base contrasting with the metallic teal in the synthetic panels is really nice, and I really like that fire pop of yellow in the gel pods at the bottom of the shoe. I think it's a rock solid GR and is probably going to be one of the more popular 1906R GRs of the year. And next up is the 990 V6 in the core triple black colorway. Nothing too much to say about this colorway. It's the 990 V6 in the classic triple black makeup. The entire shoe is all black. This is definitely going to make for a great pair of everyday shoes, beater shoes, and maybe even workwear shoes if your uniform requires all black shoes and you're allowed to wear runners. And next up is the reveal of Kawhi Leonard's 4th signature model, simply titled the Kawhi 4. Surprisingly, this wasn't officially announced by New Balance yet, but there are two colorways that have been revealed, one of which is a very bright pink colorway with some accents of purple and yellow. I assume it's going to drop on or around Valentine's Day and definitely during February, but of course that's just me. What I really think is interesting about the Kawhi 4 is the big N logo on the medial side of the shoe. I think that's a really interesting touch. Of course, the prior Kawhi models didn't really have a big N logo around the shoe, which made sense since it was Kawhi's signature model and the New Balance branding came second, but I think this is definitely an interesting switch up. There isn't really too much to say about the technology in the shoe. Even then, I don't really cover the performance basketball shoes and their performance, but I can only assume it's going to be utilizing a combination of either fuel cell and or fresh foam. Speaking of performance basketball shoes, New Balance did actually officially reveal the Fresh Foam BB V2. This is the second version of the Fresh Foam BB performance basketball model. As you can tell from the name, the shoe primarily utilizes fresh foam in the midsole for the comfort and performance, comments. One colorway is a mostly cream white upper with some accents of pink, and then the other colorway is a very nice black and red colorway. Starting off the collaboration reveals from January 2024, we have the third 1906R collaboration colorway from Bronson, titled the Rosewater colorway. This is definitely my favorite of the three. The other two, which I've covered in past videos, I personally didn't really care for. I was pretty indifferent about them, but this Rosewater colorway is very fire. It's the perfect type of loud. I personally think all of the colors just work together. You got a mostly kind of like translucent white base with big pops of magenta, pink, and of course that striking orange midsole. In classic Bronson fashion, you get rope laces that are a completely different color, this time being neon green. I think this collab is very fire. And next up, we have an announcement from Bricks & Wood that they will be collaborating with New Balance in the fall-winter season of this year. As I said, this is just an announcement. The picture is just New Balance and Bricks & Wood on top of an interesting graphic. We have no idea what type of shoe it's gonna be, but I'm excited nonetheless because their two previous collaborations were pretty creative and distinctive, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna be doing this year. And next up, we have a Kith collaboration on the 1906R, one of which is definitely gonna be releasing later this year, and the other appears to be a leaked colorway, and I'm unsure if it's gonna be actually released or if it was simply just unreleased and leaked. The first colorway, honestly, is very meh in my opinion, and I feel like it's a little uncreative and boring. I feel like it could easily pass for a GR, and really the only way I knew this was a Kith collab when I first saw it on Instagram was a close-up picture of the tongue tag with the Kith logo. It's a mostly light gray and white upper with some pops of baby blue in the back and some light mauve accents, as well as a gold plastic stability web in the midsole. Again, it's nothing too special in my opinion, and I feel like it really just doesn't stand out, especially with all of the GRs we're going to be getting for the 1906R. And then the next colorway, in my opinion, is a lot better and definitely looks more like a collab. This colorway is a mostly black upper with accents of gold as well as maroon in the M logo. This colorway is definitely a lot more distinctive without necessarily just being really loud. It's not something I'd run out to get, but I definitely respect it more creatively than the white pair. Again, I'm unsure if this black and gold pair is actually going to release or if it was simply a leak of an unreleased collab. And next up, we have a new collaboration on the 990 V4 from Arley. Fashion brand Arley is a prolific collaborator with New Balance, and they're bringing their color palette to the 990 V4 this time. One pair is a mostly brown upper with various shades of brown with a small pop of blue in the midsole. I think it looks alright. It's definitely fitting for an Arley collab, but I don't really care too much for this colorway. The other colorway, on the other hand, I'm a lot more interested in. It's a mostly dusty blue upper with other accents of blue and white, and then you get a pop of aged yellow in the midsole, and then the rest of the midsole is mostly blue. I think this colorway looks pretty fire, and I think it is definitely the better of the two colorways from this collab. And next up is a reveal of an upcoming Joe Freshgoods collab. It's gonna be on the New Balance 1000 model, but so far we only have a reveal of the box. The box is mostly white, and the branding is meant to look like graffiti. You get JFG, New Balance, as well as flame branding, and of course 1000. Hopefully this means it's gonna be a very loud colorway. I think a loud colorway will work well on the 1000 model, and it's really cool to see that New Balance is bringing another model back from the archives. And next up is a new DTLR collaboration on the 9060, this time in this very fire cyan colorway. It's meant to celebrate the upcoming spring season, and I think this colorway is very fitting for the upcoming spring and summer season. I think the color choices are really nice, they work well together, and it also fits nicely on the 9060 model. It's actually slated to release next week on February 6th. And wrapping up the video, we have a reveal of an upcoming collaboration on the 991 V2 with Danielle Cathari. Danielle Cathari is a designer and collaborator based out of Amsterdam, and she was recently made the director for Kith Women. And so far, the only thing she's posted is the nubuck panel on the tongue of her collaboration. As you can see, it's a mostly gray nubuck with a purple embroidery with New Balance, Cathari, and V2. Hopefully that means the shoe is mostly purple. I really like purple, and I think it would look really well on the 991 V2. This collaboration definitely has potential to be really nice. So what were your guys' favorite New Balances of January 2024? I'd definitely like to know down in the comments. That's gonna do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on my socials. Check out the Intelligence site for more New Balance content. content guides. If you really love the video, please consider leaving a super thanks in the tip jar below, and thanks for watching.